Fish Market family, this is Cameron, back for week 2 of the fish market at home. This week we are making swordfish tacos. I sourced some awesome swordfish for us this week, so that's going to be really exciting. And we are doing so in celebration of Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday falling on the same day this year. So I have everything you need to celebrate at home. I'm going to walk you through my grocery haul, but we are going to start first with a margarita. So the first step in making a cocktail is to prepare your glassware. You always want to do that first so that once your drink is made, it doesn't sit with the ice you either shaked it with or stirred because it'll start diluting your drink. So I have a couple of wedges of lime that I reserved when I was juicing my limes for the cocktail, and I've gone ahead and sliced down the middle so that it really easily will rim the glass. I use this lime juice to adhere the salt. Obviously, if you're not salting, you can omit this step, but I like a salty rim on my margarita. It can also be fun to do half salt and half sugar. So I've gone ahead and done that, and then I'm going to put some ice in my glass. I'm making 2 margaritas today because I am sharing. It's always more fun on Cinco de Mayo to cheers if you have someone at home with you, or you can use Zoom to do a virtual cheers these days. So I'm just preparing my second glass here. I'm just tapping it lightly in the salt because I don't want to get too much on the inside rim of the glass, then it'll fall into the drink. A little more ice here. Okay, and I already have ice in my shaker here. This is a 2-part shaker. You can also use the one that has the top that snaps in with a strain already built into it. I actually find this is easier to use, but whatever you have at home is fine. A mason jar works really well too if you don't have anything. So I have set aside 3 ounces of lime juice. Again, I'm making this for 2, and I know all of that will already fit in this shaker. An ounce of fresh squeezed orange juice. You can tell how fresh it is by that nice light translucent color. I'm also doing an ounce of Cointreau, which is my orange liqueur. I use this measuring cup because I find it a little bit easier than a shaker. Than a jigger. I think that this is easier for a home cook. It's from OXO. They're really easy to find online. And you can do, if you're building a cocktail, a couple different measurements in here. And then I am doing this again for 2, so I'm going to put my tequila in at 3 ounces. For 1, it would just be 1.5. So that's 2 total ounces of liquor for this drink. That's pretty standard for a margarita. At the restaurant, we use Patron Reposado for our market margarita. That's going to give it a little bit richer flavor than the silver I'm using today, but this is what I had. And this is a beautiful tequila too, the Dolce Vita, fully organic. So whatever tequila you have at home will taste great. If you can get your hands on some Patron Reposado, do it. Our fish market Patron, we buy our own barrels, so they're very specially selected for us. It's going to have a little bit different flavor profile than you can find anywhere else, and that's what makes ours so special. But this is about as close as you can get at home. Oh, and I've almost forgot, this is agave syrup. We diluted regular agave, 1 part agave to 1 part water. That way it mixes more easily with the margarita, and it's not quite as sweet. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that as well. And you can find this recipe posted in the same place that we're posting the recipe for the margaritas. For the tacos. We've got margaritas on the brain. So now it's just shake, shake, shake. And we're gonna pour. Okay, so real quick, I'm just gonna review everything that I have today and the different steps for the recipe. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pickle some red onion. If you don't want to take this step, just thinly slicing a red onion will be great for your tacos, and you can soak those slices in water a little bit before you put them on if you don't want to go through the whole pickling process. That'll just take some of that real strong onion flavor away, and then you can rinse. I'm also making a Chipotle rub, so I have all of the ingredients for that here, and that's what's going to go on our swordfish tacos. We have a tomatillo salsa. If you are trying to make some shortcuts, you don't want to go through all of these steps today, there are some great tomatillo salsas you can find either in the glass packaged salsa section or sometimes in the fresh produce section at your grocery store as well. And then finally we have the setup, corn tortillas, some queso fresco. I'm gonna chop up some fresh cabbage again this week, and then I'm having some chips and guac on the side. But the most important step today is our swordfish. This week I was able to go down to Chula Seafoods Wholesale here in San Diego where I live and get some really beautiful swordfish. The fish market in Del Mar is reopening next weekend, and we're gonna have this great swordfish for you there if it's easier for you to walk in. And you can also purchase swordfish online through Catalina Seafoods. Those are some of the people that we use to source swordfish. The quality of the swordfish really matters in this recipe. It sings in the tacos, so you're gonna wanna focus on that. And again, all of these toppings will be great with something else if you can't find swordfish. So if you have to use another whitefish or even shrimp or scallop, that would be fine too. Just make sure you can get something that's really awesome like what I got from Chula Seafoods for today. My next step is going to be to make the pickled red onion. That's going to be a taco topping. Again, you could just do regular onion, and you could also do this step up to a couple of days in advance and store it in the refrigerator. That's why I've used the glass mason jar here, so I could just put it aside. So in my mason jar, I have salt, pepper, dried oregano, and a garlic clove. And to this, I'm going to go ahead and add 3/4 of a cup apple cider vinegar. I did shake this well just a moment ago. This is what's going to pickle the onion. And then I'm going to go ahead and blanch the onion. So I've taken a half a red onion and sliced it up here. And I have this colander. I'm going to push it in. And I'm just going to blanch this for 20 seconds. It gets a little bit of that, again, that strong onion flavor out, and it prepares it for absorbing the vinegar and the pickling seasoning that we've put in there. So after 20 seconds, I'll remove this, give it a quick rinse, put it in my mason jar, and set this aside for about an hour. Okay, so quick trick for husking a tomatillo. If you put it in a boiling water for 10 or 15 seconds, it should help remove not just the husk, but also that kind of sticky stuff you get underneath. So I've dropped that in. I'm going to use a slotted spoon here to pull it out. I'm going to let it cool just a second so I don't burn my fingers, but you can see how quickly and easily that just peels right off. None of that gross sticky stuff. A little bit wet, should do that over the sink. And I've got a clean tomatillo there. I have all the ingredients here for the tomatillo salsa. These are the tomatillos that I did the quick blanch on and then husked and just did like a quick quarter on to make it easier to put in the blender. I have the cilantro leaf, the Anaheim pepper. I used white onion instead of yellow because that's what I had on hand. Jalapeno pepper, and I have, again, roasted garlic because that's what I had on hand, just 1 clove. I put all of it out this way so you could see about the proportions for the recipe. I think when you're cooking at home, you can adjust to what suits your taste. If you love a spicy salsa, triple the jalapeno. Obviously our cooks at the fish market are really precise because they want you to have the same experience every time. But when you're cooking at home, you can make those little adjustments. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add all of this to the blender here, and then we're gonna pulse it all together. Obviously, just that light chop that I did makes it easier for this step and for it to combine once it's in. And the last couple of ingredients I didn't mention were the dried oregano and salt, and that's gonna go in on top. Tomatillos have enough water that this is gonna come to a great consistency without adding any. If for any reason you'd like to add a little bit of water or olive oil, you certainly can.
Okay, so here we are back at the grill. I've got my grill to a nice hot temp of 400. I'm gonna go ahead and oil it down again. Remember, like last week, you wanna do this so that the fish doesn't stick to the grill. Just a nice little helpful tip. You got that nice and oiled up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put the fish down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grill this fish for about 4.5 minutes aside. At the fish market for the swordfish tacos, they utilize a flat top. We don't have that at home, so we're gonna use our regular grill. We're gonna put them on whole because on the regular grill, they're gonna cook better that way. At the fish market, they put them on the grill sliced, on the flat top sliced. So we're gonna cook these for 4.5 minutes aside. We're gonna take them off, cut them up, and arrange our tacos.
All right, as you can see, our grill master did it again, and our swordfish from Chula Seafoods Wholesale is perfectly grilled. I have already cut a couple of pieces here. I'm gonna go ahead and lay these out on my corn tortilla. Do a little bit more. All right, and then I'm just gonna add the rest of my toppings. So I have the shredded cabbage. I have some of the tomatillo salsa. This salsa, the recipe calls for more than we're gonna need tonight. So some chips on the side are a great way to use it up, or it stores in the refrigerator for a few days. I'm gonna add some queso fresco that I've just chopped up nicely. This is about a quarter of that original block that I had. I also have here those pickled onions we made earlier. Some cilantro leaf just to top it off and make it beautiful. Oops, I'm making a bit of a mess. Let's make that more presentable. And some fresh squeezed lime juice. All right, let's give it a try and see if this is everything we do at the fish market, live and in person. Yum.